Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Tuesday night session of Divine Femininity United. I'm your girl, Dr. Bianca Miss Believe, and welcome. We are airing live on Facebook, Clubhouse, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X, formerly known as Twitter. Hello, my sister. Hello, goddess. Hey, Zoom. Welcome. She said she is multitasking, honey, but she is in the building. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Cooking those good old vittles. That's what I'm talking about. Feed, honey, feed the children. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so you all know we are reading through the beautiful, wonderful, amazing book, The Power of Intention, written by Dr. Wayne W. Dyer, and learning to co-create your world your way. Okay. As you all know, on Tuesdays, we do not play around with the time. Okay. Mystic says she is happy to be here, and I'm happy that you are here, my love. I really am. Okay. So, listen, you all, one quick thing, right? So, we have gone over the last chapter, which was talking about it is my intention to optimize being healed and healing, right? So, we talked about really owning our healing, um, owning our power to be healing, owning our power to heal, and all of those things. And lo and behold, right after these are the things that come and test your gangster, right? Because right after, the pollen here in Georgia kind of caused me to develop somewhat of a cough. But I tell you what, I am here. Okay, I don't care nothing about this cough. This cough will not stop me from doing my good reading on this Tuesday evening. We're gonna get this message in. Okay, today's message is chapter 14, and it is my intention to appreciate and express the genius that I am. Okay. It is my intention to appreciate and express the genius that I am. All right. So if you hear me cough here now, hearing later or whatever, now and again, just excuse me. Okay. But I am going to read on tonight. All right. Chapter 14, you all, it is my intention to appreciate and express the genius that I am. There's a quote here by Buckminster Fuller, and it reads, "Everyone is born a genius, but the process of living de-geniuses them." Listen, ooh, if that ain't the truth, everyone is born a genius, but the process of living de-geniuses them. Okay, so when we are born here, we are born with all the things that we need. We are born geniuses. We are born with all the fullness of our knowing, fullness of our spirit, fullness of our emotions, fullness of our mental. But living this journey, it causes us to forget who we are. It causes us to be programmed by society and societal constructs. We then take on mannerisms of our elders, our parents, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, aunties, grandmama, and them, because we said so, because this just what it is, because this way, because this and that, forgetting exactly who we are, going through life, friends, school systems, hello, right? Forgetting everything of who we are, what we possess, and the genius that we are. Then our goal and mission in this journey is to reconnect to that genius within. And here we go. Consider that all human beings have within themselves the same essence of consciousness, and that the process of creativity and genius are attributes of human consciousness. Therefore, genius is a potential that lives within you and every other human being. You have many moments of genius in your lifetime. These are the times when you have a uniquely brilliant idea and implement it, even if only you are aware of how fantastic it is. Perhaps you created something absolutely astonishing and you even amaze yourself. Then there are the moments when you make exactly the right shot in a round of golf or a tennis match, and you realize that immense pleasure, what you just accomplished. You're a genius. You may never have thought of yourself as a person who has genius residing within. You may have thought the genius is a word reserved for the Mozarts or the Michelangelos or the Einsteins or Madame Curies or the Virginia Woolfs, Stephen Hawkins, and others whose lives and accomplishments have been publicized. But keep in mind that they share the same essence of consciousness that you do. They emanated from the same power of intention as you did. And they have all shared the same life force animating them as you do. Your genius is in your very existence, awaiting the right circumstances to express itself. Yes. Welcome, love, on Clubhouse. Welcome. There's no such thing as luck or accidents in this purposeful universe. Not only is everything connected to everything else, but no one is excluded from the universal source called intention. And genius, since it's a characteristic of the universal source, must be universal, which means that it's in no way restricted. It's available to every human being, every single human being. It certainly can and does show up differently in every single one of us. The qualities of creativity and genius are within you, awaiting your decision to match up with the power of intention. Come on. Next section. Changing your energy level to access the genius within you. Changing your energy level to access the genius within you. Okay, here we go. In his illuminating book, Power versus Force, David Hawkins wrote, genius is by definition a style of consciousness characterized by the ability to access high energy attractor patterns. It is not a personality characteristic. It is not something that a person has, nor even something that someone is. Those in whom we recognize genius commonly disclaim it. A universal characteristic of genius is humility. The genius has always attributed his insights to some higher influence. Genius is a characteristic of the creative force, the first of the seven faces of intention that allows all of material creation to come into form. It is an expression of the divine. No one who's considered a genius, be it Sir Lawrence Olivier on stage as Hamlet, Michael Jordan gracefully gliding toward a dunk on the basketball court, Clarence Darrow speaking to a jury, Joan of Arc inspiring a nation, or Mrs. Fuhrer, my eighth grade teacher, making a story come alive in the classroom, can explain where the energy to perform at those levels came from. Sir Lawrence Olivier is said to have been distraught after giving one of the greatest stage performances of Hamlet ever seen in London. When asked why he was so upset after the thundering ovation from the audience, he replied, I paraphrase, I know it was my performance, but I don't know how I did it, where it came from, and if I can ever do it again. Ego and genius are mutually exclusive. Genius is a function of surrendering to the source or reconnecting to it so dramatically that one's ego is substantially minimized. This is what Dr. Hawkins means by accessing higher energy patterns. Higher energy is the energy of light, which is a way of describing spiritual energy. The seven faces of intention are the ingredients of this spiritual energy. When you shift your thoughts, emotions, and life activities into these realms and deactivate the lower energies of the ego, the God force within you begins to take over. It's so automatic that it travels faster than your thoughts. This is why your thoughts about how you did something are so bewildering. The higher energy level actually transcends thought, moving into vibrational harmony with the source energy of intention. As you release ego-dominated thoughts, which convince you that you're doing these amazing things and are responsible for these unbelievable accomplishments, you tap into the power of intention. This is where the genius that you truly are resides. Many people never get acquainted with this inner world of their personal genius and think that genius is only measured in intellectual or artistic endeavors. Genius remains in the shadows of their thoughts, unnoticed during their occasional forays inward, and may even be padlocked and chained. If you've been taught to avoid thinking too highly of yourself, and that genius is reserved for a handful of select individuals, you probably resist this idea. You won't recognize your genius aspect if you've been conditioned to believe that you should accept your lot in life, think small, try to fit in with normal groups of people, and not aim too high in order to avoid disappointment. Come on here. I'd like to consider what may seem like a radical idea. Genius can show up in as many ways as there are human beings. Yes, yes, yes. Anything in any field that anyone has ever accomplished is shared by you. You're connected to every being that has ever lived or ever will live. And you share the exact same energy of intention that flowed through Archimedes, Leonardo da Vinci, the Virgin Mother, and Jonas Salk. You can access this energy at the deepest level. All things and all people are composed of vibrations organized into fields that permeate the entire structure of the universe. You share these vibrations and you are in this field. Yes, yes, yes. The starting point is knowing and understanding that this level of creativity and functioning called genius resides within you. When then begin to deconstruct doubts about your role here. Make a commitment to raise your energy levels to vibrate harmoniously with the field of intention despite attempts by your ego and others' ego to dissuade you. Dr. Valerie Hunt in Infinite Mind, Science of Human Vibrations of Consciousness reminds us lower vibrations exist with material reality, higher ones with mystical reality, and a full vibrational spectrum with expanded reality. To fulfill this intention of appreciating and expressing the genius that you are, you're going to have to strive for that full vibrational spectrum. This is the idea of expansion, which is crucial to knowing your true potential. It's what you signed up for when you left the formless world of spiritual intention. Yes, you co created a body and a life to express that inner genius, which you may have locked away in an almost inaccessible chamber. My goodness, you all. My goodness, man. This is good. Oh, this is good. Ooh. We are co-creators. We have the same components of that of Einstein, Nikola Tesla, Tahuti. Oh my goodness, Ma'at, Isis, Horus, Ra, Newt. Oh my word. Oh my god. Come on, y'all. Let's do it. Next section, expanding your reality. Expanding your reality. Okay. The universal force that created you is always expanding, and your objective is to achieve harmony with that source and thereby regain the power of intention. So, what is it that keeps you from expanding to the mystical reality and full vibrational spectrum that Dr. Hunt refers to? I like this answer from William James, who is often referred to as the father of modern psychology. He says genius means little more than the faculty of perceiving in an unhabitual way. Let me read that again. Genius means that little more. Genius means little more than the faculty of perceiving in an unhabitual way. To expand your reality to match the expansiveness of the all creating field of intention, you have to peel away your old habits of thoughts. Listen, you have to peel away your old habits of thoughts. These habits have pigeonholed you to a point where you allow labels to be attached to you. Come on. Gender labels, race labels. Oh my God. Listen, you all, I hope you are grabbing on because he is cracking things open. Okay. These labels define you in many ways. Yes, they do. Most of the labels are from other people who need to describe what you are not because they feel safer predicting what can't be than what can be. Here's some examples. She's never been very artistic. He's a clad clumsy, so he won't be an athlete. Mathematics was never her strong suit. He's a bit shy, so he won't be he won't be good dealing with the public. Here that listen, so many things, my goodness, so many things. Society, familials, ourselves, friends, schools, teachers have put on us and we have believed them, you all. You've heard these pronouncements for so long that you believe them. Oh God, I'm thinking about children who has to hear constantly how stupid they are, how they have a learning disability. They believe these things, man. My goodness. They've become a habitual way of thinking about your abilities and potentialities. As William James suggested, genius means making a shift in your thinking so that you let go of those habits and open yourself to possibilities of greatness. I've heard the stereotype about writers and speakers since I was a young man. If you're a writer, you're introverted, and writers don't make dynamic speakers. I chose to shift from that programmed and stereotypical way of thinking and decided that I could excel at anything I affirmed and intended for myself. I chose to believe that when I came into this world of boundaries and form, there were no restrictions on me. I was intended here from an expansive energy field that knows nothing of limits or labels. I decided that I'd be both an introverted writer and a dynamic extroverted speaker. Hello, somebody. Similarly, I've broken through many socially imposed habitual ways of labeling people. I can be a genius in any area if, according to the father of modern psychology, I learn to perceive in unhabitual ways. I can sing tender songs, write sentimental poetry, create exquisite paintings, and at the same time, in the same body, excel as an athlete in any sport, build a fine piece of furniture, repair my automobile, wrestle with my children, and surf in the ocean. Pay attention to yourself in ways that allow the expansion of the infinite possibilities that you're potentially capable of. You may decide, as I have, that repairing an automobile and surfing in the ocean aren't what you enjoy doing. So leave those activities to others and use your genius to engage in pursuits that please and attract you. Expand your reality to the point where you pursue what you love doing and excel at it. Involve yourself in the high energy levels of trust, optimism, appreciation, reverence, joy, and love. That means love for what you're doing, love for yourself, and love for your genius, which allows you to immerse yourself in any activity and enjoy the process of experiencing it fully. Yes, yes, and more yes. Listen, oh my goodness. Hello, Donald Robinson. Donald says we must come up to every requirement of higher consciousness. Yes. He also then says, embrace renunciation. Come on here. Embrace renunciation. Yes. Okay, next section, trusting your insights. The process of appreciating your genius involves trusting those inner flashes of creative insight that are worthy of expression. The song you're composing in your head, the weird storyline that you keep dreaming about that would make a fabulous movie, the crazy idea about combining peas and carrots in a seed and growing parrot vegetables, the new car design you've always contemplated, the fashion idea that would become the next fad, the toy that every child would yearn to have, the musical extravaganza you've seen in your mind. These ideas and thousands like them are the creative genius within you at work. These ideas in your imagination are distributions of God taking place. They're not from your ego, which squashes them with fear and doubt. Your insights are divinely inspired. Your creative mind is how your higher self vibrates harmoniously with the field of intention, which is always creating. Come on here. Banishing doubt regarding those brilliant flashes of insight will allow you to express these ideas and begin the process of acting on them. Having the thoughts and squelching them because you think they aren't good enough or they don't merit any action is denying the connection that you have to the power of intention. You have a connecting link to intention, but you're allowing it to be weakened by living at ordinary levels of ego consciousness. Remember that you're a piece of God. Come on. Remember that you're a piece of God. And the inner spark of genius in your imagination, which is that intuitive inner voice, is really God reminding you of your uniqueness. Come on, man. Remember who you are. You're having these inner insights because this is precisely how you stayed connected to the all creating genius that intended you here. As I've said earlier, trusting in yourself is trusting in the wisdom that created you. Trusting in yourself is trusting in the wisdom that created you. Never, but never regard any creative thought that you're having as anything other than a worthy potential expression of your inner genius. The only caveat here is that these thoughts must be in vibrational harmony with the seven faces of intention. Inner thoughts of hatred, anger, fear, despair, and destruction simply don't foster creative insights. The low energy, ego dominated thoughts must be replaced and converted to the power of intention. Your creative impulses are real, they're vital, they're worthy, and they crave expression. The fact that you can conceive of them is proof of this. Yes, your thoughts are real. They're pure energy, and they're telling you to pay attention and get that connecting link to the power of intention, polished through living at different levels than you've accepted as normal or ordinary. At these levels, everyone is a genius. Come on here. Everyone is a genius. This is amazing, you all. I really need you all to tap in. I need you all to really see yourself in these words. See yourself, allow these words to permeate in you, allow them to flow through your veins like the blood that's flowing through your veins. Allow them to breathe, to become your very breath that you breathe in. Inhale, exhale. Know that you are this. You are this. This is you. Connect, reconnect to your origins. And be the genius that you are. Next section, appreciating the genius in others. Come on here. Come on here. Because here's the thing. We can't appreciate the genius in others until we appreciate the genius in us. We can't see the genius in others until we are able to see the genius in us. Here we go. Every person you interact with should feel the inner glow that comes from being appreciated, particularly for the ways in which they express their creativity. That's right. A core theme which strengthens the flow of the power of intention is wanting for others as much as you intend for yourself. Appreciating the genius in others attracts high levels of competent energy to you. By seeing and celebrating the creative genius, you open a channel within yourself for receiving the creative energy from the field of intention. My 15-year-old son, Sands, has a unique way of riding a surfboard unlike everyone around him in the ocean. I encourage him to do what comes naturally and express it with pride. He also created a unique language of communication similar to my brother David, which others in the family and close personal acquaintances emulate. Creating a language that others use is the work of a genius. Yes, it is. I tell Sands this, and my brother too, whose unique language I've spoken for over half a century. My daughter Sky has a distinctive, one of a kind singing voice that I love. I tell her so and point out that it's an expression of her genius. All of my children and yours as well, including the child within you. Yes, come on. Come on. I love that. I love that he acknowledged that, including the child within you, have unparalleled characteristics in many of the ways they've expressed themselves. From the way that they dress, to the little tattoo, to their signature, to their mannerisms, to their unmatched personality quirks, you can appreciate their genius. Notice and appreciate your genius too. When you're just like everyone else, you've nothing to offer other than your conformity. Listen to me. Oh my God, I got to say that again, you all. I must say that again. When you're just like everybody else, you have nothing to offer other than your conformity. Jesus, I need that to sit. I need that to sit for 1 second. My God. Take the road of seeing the face of God in everyone you encounter. Look for something to appreciate in others and be willing to communicate it to them and anyone who's willing to listen. When you see this quality in others, you'll soon begin to realize that this potential is available to all of humanity. This obviously includes you. Recognizing genius in yourself is an integral part of the dynamic. As Dr. Hawkins tells us in Power versus Force, until one acknowledges the genius within oneself, one will have great difficulty recognizing it in others. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Until one acknowledges the genius within oneself, one will have great difficulty recognizing it in others. Next section, genius and simplicity. Genius and simplicity. Begin to realize the intention of this chapter by uncomplicating your life as much as possible. Genius thrives in a contemplative environment where every minute isn't filled with obligation or hordes of people offering advice and insisting on your constant participation in ordinary mundane endeavors. The genius in you isn't seeking confirmation from others, but quiet space for its ideas to blossom. Come on. Genius isn't as much about achieving a high IQ on a standardized test as it is the exceptionally high level of plain old savvy in any given field of human endeavor. Genius at work may be the person who finds tinkering with an electronic gadget for hours on end exhilarating, and also can be entranced by puttering in the garden or observing the communication patterns between bats on a starry night. An uncomplicated life with fewer intrusions tolerated in a simple setting allows your creative genius to surface and express itself. Yes, it does. The simplicity establishes a link to the power of intention, and your genius will flourish. That's right. That's right. Next section, making your intention your reality. Y'all ready? Get yourselves ready. How to make your intention your reality. Here we go. Below is my 10-step program for putting this intention and appreciation to appreciate and express the genius within you to work. Here we go. Step 1, declare yourself to be a genius. Declare yourself to be a genius. This shouldn't be a public pronouncement, but a statement of intention between you and your creator. Remind yourself that you're one of the masterpieces that emanated from the universal field of intention. You don't have to prove that you're a genius, nor do you need to compare any of your accomplishments to those of others. You have a unique gift to offer this world, and you are unique in the entire history of creation. Yes, you are. Step 2, make a decision to listen more carefully to your inner insights, no matter how small or insignificant you may have previously judged them to be. Okay? Make a decision to listen more carefully to your inner insights, no matter how small or insignificant you may have previously judged them to be. These thoughts, which you may have viewed as silly or unworthy of attention, are your private connection to the field of intention. Thoughts that seem to persist, particularly if they relate to new activities and adventures, aren't in your mind accidentally. These tenacious thoughts that don't go away should be viewed by you as intention talking to you, saying, you signed up to express your unique brilliance. So why do you keep ignoring the genius in favor of settling for less? Wow, 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 wow. Listen. Step 3, take constructive action towards implementing your intuitive inclinations. Take constructive action toward implementing your inner intuitive inclinations. Any step in the direction of expressing your creative impulses is a step in the direction of actualizing the genius that resides within you. For example, writing and submitting a book outline, regardless of how you may have doubted yourself up until now, recording a CD of yourself reading poetry or singing the songs you've written, purchasing an easel and art paraphernalia and spending an afternoon painting, or visiting an expert in a field that interests you. During a recent photo shoot, a photographer told me that years earlier, he'd arranged a meeting with a world-renowned photographer, and that visit sent him on the road to doing the work that he loved. To me, this man was a genius. Photography had always intrigued him. The early prodding in his life that he acted on allowed him to appreciate the genius within him. Then one meeting with one man taught him to trust in that intrigue and to use it as means for communicating this genius to the entire world. I love that. Step 4, know that any and all thoughts that you have regarding your own skills, interests, and inclinations are valid. Know that any and all thoughts that you have regarding your own skills, interests, and inclinations are valid. To reinforce the validity of your thoughts, keep them private. I'm going to say that again. To reinforce the validity of your thoughts, keep them private. Tell yourself that they're between you and God. If you keep them in the spiritual domain, you don't have to introduce them to your ego or expose them to the egos of those around you. This means that you'll never have to compromise them by explaining and defending them to others. That's it right there. Simply put, hush your mouth, okay? Hush your mouth. Simply put. Step 5, remind yourself that aligning with spiritual energy is how you will find and convey the genius within you. Remind yourself that aligning with spiritual energy is how you will find and convey the genius within you. In Power versus Force, David Hawkins concluded, from our studies, it appears that the alignment of one's goals and values with high energy attractors is more closely associated with genius than anything else. This is completely in line with understanding and implementing the power of intention. Shift your energy to harmonize vibrationally with the energy of Source. Be an appreciator of life and refuse to have thoughts of hatred, anxiety, anger, and judgment. Trust yourself as a piece of God, and your genius will flourish. Yes. Step 6, practice radical humility. Practice radical humility. Take no credit for your talents, intellectual abilities, aptitudes, or proficiencies. Be in a state of awe and bewilderment. Even as I sit here with my pen in my hand, observing how words appear before me, in a state of bewilderment. Where do these words come from? How does my hand know how to translate my invisible thoughts into decipherable words, sentences, and paragraphs? Where do the thoughts come from that precede these words? Is this really Wayne Dyer writing, or am I watching Wayne Dyer put these words on paper? Is God writing this book through me? Was I intended to be this messenger before I showed up here as a baby on the 10th of May, 1940? Will these words live beyond my lifetime? I'm bewildered by it all. I'm humbled in my inability to know where any of my accomplishments came from. Practice radical humility and give credit everywhere except to your ego. Step 7, remove resistance to actualizing your genius. Remove resistance to actualizing your genius. Resistance always shows up in the form of your thoughts. Watch your thoughts that convey your inability to think of yourself in genius terms. Thoughts of doubt about your abilities, or thoughts that reinforce what you've been taught about a lack of talent or lack of aptitude. All of these kinds of thoughts are a misalignment and don't allow you to be in vibrational harmony with the universal, all creating field of intention. Your source knows that you're a genius. Any thought you have that challenges this notion is resistance, which will inhibit you from realizing your intention. That's right. That's right. Think on these things. Whatsoever are true, whatsoever is lovely, whatsoever is of good report. Think of positivity about yourself always. Step 8, look for the genius in others. Look for the genius in others. Pay attention to the greatness you observe in as many people as possible. And if you don't see it at first, then spend some mental energy looking for it. The more you're inclined to think in genius terms, the more natural it becomes for you to apply the same standards to yourself. Tell others about their genius. Be as complimentary and authentic as you can. In doing so, you'll radiate loving, kind, abundant, creative energy. In a universe that operates on energy and attraction, you'll find these same qualities returning to you. That's facts. Step 9, simplify your life. Simplify your life. Take the complications, rules, shoulds, musts, have tos, and so on out of your life. By uncomplicating your life and removing the trivial pursuits that occupy so much of it, you open a channel for the genius within you to emerge. One of the most effective techniques for simplifying life is to take time each day to spend 20 or so minutes in silence and meditation. The more conscious contact you make with your source, the more you come to appreciate your own highest self. That's it. And it's from this higher self that your own genius will be manifested. And step 10, remain humble while staying in a state of gratitude. Remain humble while staying in a state of gratitude. This genius that you are has nothing at all to do with your ego mind. Be ever so grateful to the source of intention for providing you with the life force to express the genius that resides within you. Those who attribute their inspiration and success to their ego soon lose this capacity, or they allow the approval and attention of others to destroy them. Remain humble and grateful, and more of your genius will surface as you remain in a constant state of expansion. Gratitude is a sacred space where you allow and know that a force greater than your ego is always at work and always available. That is so true. The man who inspires me every day, Ralph Waldo Emerson, whose photograph looks back at me as I write, put it this way: to believe your own thoughts, to believe what is true for you in your private heart is true for all men. That is genius. Take this awareness and apply it in your life. Another genius tells us just how to do this. Thomas Edison said, genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Are you sweating yet? I know that's right. Yes. Oh my God, this is amazing. You all, I don't know if y'all know, but this is amazing. This is awesome. This was chapter 13. That was the completion of part 2 of this book. On Sunday, we will be entering part 3, which is the connection. Let me tell you all something. The connection, brace yourself. Because at the top of this book, as we read through the forward, we were told to go to the very end of the book, to the connection, and start there first. Then come back to chapter 1, part 1. So I am a privy, and those who have followed along with us are privy to what part 3 and the connection speaks of. And I'm going to tell you, my goodness, you will be so empowered once we complete. Just get back here on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Pacific. Be back here on Sunday, because the empowerment that will be taking place as a result of us reading through this book, I'm telling you, you will feel as tall as a giant and know that you are able to do any and all things that you're purposed to do, meant to do, created to do, formed to do, and sent here to do. Okay? Alrighty, you all know that if you want the book, reach out to me. This is the book that we're reading, The Power of Intention. Inbox me, back channel me, whatever you need to do to receive the ebook of our reading material. Okay? You can email me also at info@biancamissblee.com. You can also visit my website. Go to biancamissblee.com. You can also follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. And it's all the same, Dr. Bianca Miss B. Lee. On Twitter, it's just Bianca Miss B. Lee, okay? You all listen Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here, Divine Femininity United. You all, I love you. I mean it. There's absolutely, positively nothing you can do about it. Don't you even try. We'll be back here on Sunday. Peace.